happen in this is, basically, I'm going to cover a lot of moments of Shippuden. And this is going to go differently. Naruto has not killed a single person at all when he was with Orochimaru. Christian Sasuke, on the hand, killed tons of them. Naruto just knocked them out. One day while they're all out, Christian says, "Guys, I know we all have different goals, so I think we should all split apart." He says, "Naruto, I know you already missed the Hidden Leaf Village, so you can go back." He goes, "Fine," and goes to the hidden and returns back. He says, returns to the Hokage office saying, "Hello, Granny Tsunade." He says, "Naruto, what are you doing back?" He says, "Well, we all had different goals, so we didn't want to stay together. Sasuke only wanted revenge on Itachi. Christian wants more power and just wants to upgrade himself. He says he doesn't even want to be around anyone. And I never wanted to go. I just wanted to come since they were my best friends. And those two are splitting up too." He says they might go even more of a darker path. He says, "Well, I disbanded the group." He goes, "Alright, so..." Kurama says, "Alright, kid, so you'll pretty much get really strong. Your training stuff would be really insanely strong." He'd be going around the world, or just walking around, until one day, well, actually, during Gaara, everything would go pretty normal. Naruto would learn. Naruto back at the Leaf Village is much stronger. Welcome back at his home. Naruto wants to get Christian and Sasuke back, but that's not really going to work out. He's trying his best, but he can't find any intel on them. Naruto would still learn Rasa and Shuriken and all that crap, while Christian and Sasuke are taking different routes, trying to master themselves. When Indra sees that Christian has mastered basically his 3 Tomoe, he decides to implant the Mangekyo in. Doing that so he has more limitless potential, adding to his limitless potential. He goes, "Perfect." He goes and trains the Mangekyo to its limit, trying to train it to its limit exactly. One day he encounters 5 shinobi. Naruto Uzumaki, he encounters Naruto, Taruto, Naruto, and Sakura, and Neji, and Kiba. And also Rock Lee, because if Rock Lee ain't there, if Neji's there, Rock Lee's there. He's just walking around. When then he encounters them, he goes, "Hello, you." Naruto says, "Please, come back." He says, "Nope, nope, nope, not in a million years, not ever." He says, "Then we'll force you to come back," Kiba says angrily, barking out. He says, "Like you can stop me." He goes, "Come on then, come at me." Kiba says, "Fang over fang!" He goes, "Mangekyo Sharingan!" Out of nowhere, Kiba's movements suddenly slow down. The rotation, he instantly gets gut punched, and Orikamaru gets smacked away. He goes, "Grrr." He goes, "How? It's like my movements were way slowed down. It's either he's fast or I'm really slow." Neji says, "I think you're pretty slow." He says, "Shut up, Neji." He says, "Pathetic," and walks away. Neji jumps in front saying, "Rotation!" He says, "Easy to counter." Stabs his sword in and spins it the other way. Spinning Neji's rotation out, then with one kick, knocks Neji straight out. Sakura jumps in the air going, "Cha!" He says, "Susanoo!" Activating his black jet Susanoo ribcage. His Susanoo's black, remember. Actually, no, it's purple. It would be purple since it's Indra's reincarnation. Then, boom, he tried to punch it. She tried to punch it, but then gets sent flying back. With this, he says, "Oh, please. Like you could ever stop me." Naruto, and Taruto all go in for their attacks, going, "Ah!" He goes, "Really? Y'all are really weak." He dodges out of the way of Naruto's, punching him in the face. Then he grabs his sword and slices Naruto. Then he kicks Taruto back, saying, "Weak." Then walks away, saying, "How weak are you all? What did that..." He says, "You said that training together was the most efficient way. Well, I don't think that way. Because I have a limitless and insane amount of training potential. So if I train in 1 month, I could be stronger than you. If you trained for 3 years, Naruto. Why do you think I got so insanely strong during the training?" He pulls out a sword. It says, "Lightning Blade." He slams it into the ground, saying, "Chidori Stream." Then turns the blade. Then the Chidori Stream comes and shocks them all. He says, "I'm done now." He says, "Oh yeah, have a little parting gift." Snaps his fingers and they hear explosion from the Leaf Village. He leaves. He goes, "Pathetic." They say, "What did he do?" Then they walk over and they see a quarter of the Leaf Village is blown up. He says, "Goodbye." Then walks off. Then they immediately report to Tsunade, saying that they saw Christian, but they couldn't get him because he outpaced them all. And he said something about having limitless potential, and if Naruto trained 3 years and he trained 30 and he trained 10 days, he'd still be better than Naruto alone. And he was stronger than all of us with little to no difficulty. He says, "Whatever, I'm not gonna go." He says, "You're becoming more like Indra." Indra goes, "Hey, I'm no longer like that. I'm much more nicer." He goes, "Yes, but the evil in you still dwells." He goes, Christian says, "There's no time for bonds. I just severed mine. I don't even like them." He says, "I did this because I don't like them and because they're annoying." He says, "Whatever." A couple of months later pass by and Christian's walking around. Oh yeah, Sasuke would have defeated Itachi already. One day while Sasuke is walking around with Team Taka, they see a shadowy figure. He's walking towards them in a normal outfit. He says, "Wait a minute." Sasuke says, "I recognize those clothes." He says, "Sasuke, a friend of yours?" He says, "More like a rival." He says, "Is it that Naruto guy?" He says, "No, he's weak." He says, my rival who is stronger than me." Karin say, in a caring voice, "Give me a sec." Karin says in a carroty voice, "There's no one stronger than you, Sasuke." He says, "No, there is out there." She says, "You just beat Itachi." He says, "So what?" Hashirama Senju beat Madara Uchiha. He was a legend. Minato Namikaze beat actually, no. He says, "Oh, Sasuke, I would like to have a match between your entire team." He goes, "Alright." And they start. When Karin says, "He has red hair," he says, "Karin, yes, he's part Uzumaki." She says, "I'm an Uzumaki." Chris says, "Did I ask?" Swiggity spooty, I came for Yimooty.
Kirby?
Mom.
Dry arm?
Shh. boy Suigetsu says, Sasuke, he's got the same bad tone as you, huh? They both say, shut up. He goes, see what I'm talking about? So he says, let's go, and they all rush. He says, well, one shot time. He binds them up with the chakra chains. Karin tries to use hers, but then he just deflects it with singly one chakra chain and says, nope. It says, really? You're weak. He says, you are late. You are weak, slash. He says, you're weak and your entire team. Then one of the chakra chains stabs so he gets you, but then he just turns into water. He goes, a water user. He says, ah, with the executioner's blade, he catches it with little to no difficulty and breaks it in half. He goes, and goes, whatever. He says, I haven't even been trying yet. Jugo goes into his curse mark and goes, ah. He puts out one finger, blocking it, going, sure. Then he grabs his entire fist, crushing Jugo's hand. He goes, ah. Then goes and throws him right into a wall. He says, really? Was it that hard? Karin goes for a paper bomb and tries to throw it. He says, Then when he catches it with two fingers, saying, then incinerating it by putting his hand over it, going, Nothing, Karin says, nothing works against him. Sasuke says, Sharingan! He says, ah! Christian's having a lot more trouble with Sasuke and the Sharingan. He goes, he says, this guy doesn't even have Sharingan. There's no way he's gonna beat Sasuke. He says, alright Sasuke, let's go. Into full power. Sasuke starts to get nervous. He goes, Sharingan! Then he goes, ah! Going into his two-tailed state. Going, ah! He says, what the? Everyone says, what the? Nine-tails chakra? Karin says, nine-tails chakra? He says, Vermilion Chidori! Then jumps up and cuts right through Suigetsu. He goes, ugh, and that actually hurts. Then he kicks Jugo into a wall going, and says, nice try. And then he releases his curse mark. The curse mark, he goes into his wing state going, he goes, he says, I love this state. He says, Chidori, Vermilion Chidori Lapment. Explosion. Swiggity Spooty, I came for Booty. Absolutely destroying him. He goes, see ya. Sasuke also, he says, Sasuke puts on his new drip and says, whatever. And then Sasuke also got his Shippuden drip from the actual start of Ninja Storm 3. He goes, and then one day he hears that. He says, hey, but before that, Sasuke says, you know what, I want to come. I want to come with you. I'm bored. I have nothing else to do in my spare time. He goes, right, sure, you can come. He goes, right. He says, and if any of you try and attack me, with Jugo still in his curse mark goes to punch him, he says, Chidori Blade, piercing through Jugo, going, he says, that is what will happen to you. Then he gets rid of it. Jugo falls to the floor and reverts back. He goes, let's go. Sasuke would be ordered to kill, and both of them would be ordered to kill, and Sasuke says that he wants to raid the 5 Kage Summit. Christian says, I want to do it, too. When they do this and they raid it, they go, swiggity scrooty. Sasuke also wants revenge on Danzo, and he apparently took over as Hokage. When they do this and they raid it, he goes, it's time to go. when they read it and they're there, Christian says, Sasuke has the Mangekyo Sharingan where, what?